So I was supposed to go on a mission last night. I didn't end up going. There weren't enough APVs, like transport vehicles, and so I sat that one out. But some people died, including 36-year-old Neria of the paratroopers brigade, and then our guys of the Combat Engineer Corps. You have 22-year-old Ben Sussman, 19-year-old Yehoshua of the Combat Engineer Corps died in the fighting, and I just think, man, we are fighting for something, for freedom. Freedom is not free. You know this. A lot of people take for granted freedom and life as you know it, just having a Shabbat dinner in peace and just enjoying lighting a Hanukkah candle. Israel is a free place. If you think about how many people here, about 21% of the population are Arab, about 12% of those are Muslims, and they have full freedoms here. They can join the police force, they can become a Supreme Court justice, they can, join the government, they do all these things. And where do they have freedoms? Where do people have freedoms like this in this whole Middle East? It's amazing to think of what our forefathers had to do to make a free place like this. And but now we're under 1,500 rockets have been shot towards Israeli territory since October 7th, and about 9,357 people have sustained injuries in the Palestinian attacks. And so there's hostages that are still being held in the Gaza Strip. Some got released, and it was beautiful to see some of these released, and the hugs and everything. But, they violated the ceasefire. They wanted to keep attacking, and the Houthis have joined in. They hit 3 commercial ships in the Red Sea with ballistic missiles, and the United States warship patrolling the region shot down 3 Houthi drones. They're like saying, enough's enough. Stop this. And it's really seeming to have global implications, this whole thing. It's not just us fighting for our home and for security and for our families, but there's also an aspect about, what we believe in, the very biblical principles, the very morals that founded free countries everywhere is coming under question. And there's people who say, maybe let's just get rid of these morals, get rid of what made the free world free. There's people calling for that, for just globalism and for Islamism. And so there's just there's a clash here. And we're seeing that some people are saying, are we really in the time of the Gog and Magog war? Could that be the time we're in? The prophecies in Ezekiel, book of Ezekiel, and 38 and 39. And so, these are enemies of Israel that come and they attack Israel, and the whole world gets involved. And so where is Gog and Magog? Where is this, they attack from where? Some people say it's Kerman or Kermania, which is in Iran. And so it's like, Iran hates Israel. They got all these proxies like Yemen and all these places that want to attack Israel and support Hamas and Hezbollah. And Persia is one of those that is part of this Gog and Magog, also Put and Cush. And so those would be areas in northern Africa, areas south of Egypt, and including Sudan, Yemen, the Arabian Peninsula. Also, you have Meshach and Tubal listed there. They're the Scythian tribes in Asia Minor, which is really Turkey. And you see the stance Turkey's taking. They're not following Ataturk, Kamil Ataturk, who's one of my heroes in some ways. Just the way he stood up and said, we're having a free country. Is this really the Gog and Magog war led by an Iranian leader? And in that whole, prophecy, you see that they just hate. They're coming because of hate, and they want to bring violence. They're not coming because they want to take over Israel or because they want to take more land. It's really, you see that it's a conflict that is all about evil intentions, maybe even jealousy over what God's doing through Israel. Like a great redemption happens, and they're angry. But you see that these entities like Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah are driven by hatred today too. You see look how Yahya Sinwar talks. He wants to murder. Look how from the river to the sea. What does that mean? It means from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. They want every single Jewish person killed, dead. And you see that's prophesied that this sentiment will arise, and it describes an intervention of God where he defeats Gog and Magog, and you have through fire, and you have the recognition that it's God who did it. And so I just wonder, is it really that time now? I feel we still have time. I feel we still have the Isaiah 19 peace, which is going to happen first. And I do believe a great redemption is going to happen first. And so it's almost Hanukkah, and I think of light against darkness. I think good against evil. I think the hope that we have that good will win. And you might call it we're fighting for our way of life. The way of life of every free nation is hangs in the balance here. And I really think the Hanukkah story is something that we need to really look at in this time. And hey, why don't you go check our shop out? By the way, a little commercial. Check our shop out for cool Hanukkah stuff. We have Hanukkah, all kinds of different cool things, even for Hanukkah. And right now, I just want to say that as the medical staff throughout Israel are working tirelessly to keep people alive, to save lives, I think it's time that we recognize that here near where all our volunteers stay, in the Jordan Valley, they don't actually have an ambulance. And so I was thinking, let's take a giant leap of faith and buy an ambulance. If that's something on your heart to help with, I mean, it's very expensive to buy an ambulance. But if that's something on your heart that you want to sow into, this is just Hanukkah Miracles. Hey, we believe for Hanukkah Miracle. So if you want to believe with us for that, well, write me, and we certainly will make sure that will happen. Here's the thing, Proverbs 12, verse 7, the wicked are overthrown, and they are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. Thank you for standing with us and with the house of the righteous and for what makes free countries free.